couldn't believe what he was hearing. Sophia, the woman he was beginning to fall in love with, was part of a revenge plan orchestrated by a man who, until then, he had thought of as a mere shadow of the past. And Sophia, unknowingly, was deeply involved in this game. How was this possible? How could he, someone who had dedicated his life to building an empire, be so vulnerable, so exposed to something so treacherous? "You're lying," Pedro said, trying to ignore the chill that was now spreading across his skin. He didn't want to believe it. He couldn't. Everything he knew, everything he believed, was being dismantled. Sophia, she would never be part of such a plan. "I know her. She's good. She wouldn't be capable of this." The man smiled, but it was a bitter smile, full of cynicism. "You're trying to deceive yourself, Pedro. Your good intentions and your feelings for her are charming, but they won't change the truth. She has always known her role in this plan. What you feel for her doesn't change what she is to me, and it doesn't change what she represents for my purpose. Sophia, like everyone in your family, has a role to play, and the revenge I seek won't be stopped by any feelings you have for her." Those words made Pedro's blood boil. He felt as though the ground was opening up beneath his feet. He, who had always controlled his life with such precision, now found himself lost, consumed by a cruel and unexpected truth. How could he trust Sophia now? How could he believe in her when her own father was there, saying that she was part of such a dirty, vengeful game? The sense of betrayal and shock overwhelmed Pedro. He felt completely exposed, vulnerable, and the pain of being deceived by someone he had begun to trust was unbearable. He wanted to believe that Sophia was being manipulated, that she didn't know the full extent of her father's plan. But as he looked at the man before him, the idea that this could be true seemed further and further away. "Sophia, did she know?" Pedro asked, his voice trembling with so much pain. He didn't know if he wanted to hear the answer. Perhaps it would be better not to know, but still, he had to ask. The man looked at him with contempt, as if he already knew the answer. Pedro didn't want to hear. "Yes, she knew, and she still knows. There is nothing more to be said, Pedro. You're wasting time trying to understand something that can't be changed." Pedro's heart was heavy. He felt as though the entire world had collapsed around him. The woman he had fallen in love with, the woman he believed was different, now seemed to be part of something much larger, much darker than he could have imagined. The pain of betrayal consumed him, and one part of him wanted to believe that it was all a lie, that Sophia was being manipulated. But another part knew that, perhaps, there was no turning back now. Pedro felt the weight of the truth crushing him, and in that moment, everything he knew began to disappear. Pedro felt as though the ground had disappeared beneath his feet. He could no longer distinguish reality from his emotions, and his heart was completely divided.